Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary Bridges on the Fan TV, man. Back at you on the video of the content. This video, go smash that like button of the content of this channel. Go ahead and subscribe, man. Look, so here we are, man. 2 days away from the NFL draft. And one thing that's kind of been picking up steam is whether or not the Ravens will ultimately trade Rashod Bateman during draft night, all right? Or during this, draft period, right? Over the next couple of days, right? So I kind of want to talk about that because the kind of rumors, maybe it's just fan talk, speculation, but the rumors do seem to be afoot with Rashad Bateman trade speculation, right? All right, so first thing, I kind of want to, we will talk about whether or not he will be traded or so. I think the Ravens should trade him, but I kind of want to talk about Rashad Bateman as a human first, right? All right. It feels like every offseason there's a target of the Ravens fan base that just choose to hate on the guy for whatever reason, right? Rashad Bateman this offseason has been that guy, right? The kind of hate that he's getting online is kind of weird on a lot of levels to me, all right? I would say last offseason it was probably Eric DeCosta with everything that went on with Lamar Jackson and the contract and maybe some missteps of the past, not giving Lamar the type of receivers that he needs to, maybe push his team up to the next level, right? So this year, I believe it's Rashad Bateman, right? For things that honestly to me aren't football related. Okay, so um, let's go into a couple of things that I think that's going on. Right, he's into fashion. He paints his nails, and also recently, I think as of yesterday, he posted a picture that he was having dinner with Deshaun Elliott and James Prochet. Right, Deshaun Elliott plays for the Steelers. James Prochet plays for the Browns. Right, two former Ravens. Okay, in that picture. All right. So let's talk about it. Him being into fashion, a lot of these guys are into fashion nowadays. As far as the professional athletes go, it's something they do on the side, something that they into, they love, they got the opportunities, go for it. I don't care what they do about that in their own time. Is it affecting his performance on the field? No, I don't think so. Right. So for me, the fashion thing is not something I care about. Right. He paints his nails. Right. This was a topic during the season, and now here we are again as a topic during the off season. Right. Why so many people care about this man painting his nails, I don't know, and I don't really understand it. Right. One, let's start with his personal choice. That's what he chooses to do. Then great. That's good for him. Right. Am I a guy that paints my nails? No, I don't. But what I do is for me. What he does is for him. Why do we care about something that has nothing to do with football when it comes to Rashad Bateman? How he paints his nail doesn't determine how hard he's going to go after football. How does he catch a football? It has nothing to do with that, right? Then on top of that, another layer, we found out during the season why he did it. He had a cousin that tragically ended their own life. And that was a tribute to them, right? Rockstar lifestyle, right? So for two reasons right there, right? If that's his own personal choice, cool. It's his life. He lives that. Secondly, once we found out that it was a tribute to a cousin that had passed away, the conversation should have ended right there. But it hasn't, right? There's still a big deal about this man and painting his fingernails, right? I don't get it. I don't understand, right? Then the last thing in the picture, right, with Deshaun Elliott and James Prochet. One, I didn't know him and Elliott were that close, but they're former. He's a former Raven, so cool, right? He's cool with he's cool with a guy that was on the team before, right? When James Prochet was here, him and Rashad Bateman were tight, right? Now they'll remember the offseason where we thought that Rashad Bateman was going to be one, James Prochet was going to be two in terms of receivers on the depth chart. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it did happen, right? They are really, really close friends. This is where it gets tricky for me. Not even tricky. This is where it's sad for me to see that fans don't see these guys as people outside of what they do for their profession. This is a man, Rashad Bateman, whether he gets traded or not, right? This is a man who was having dinner with two of his friends, right? I believe it was Deshaun Elliott's birthday, something like that. He's having dinner with two of his friends, and now we see this picture and we speculate into it something deeper than that. Him and James Prochet were very, very close when Prochet was here with the Ravens, right? Him and Deshaun Elliott, like I said, former teammates. They probably got close as well. Why are we in this man's business about painting his nails, about having dinner with friends, right? I seen a comment that said, "Oh, Bateman out here having dinner with the ops." It ain't no ops. It's the off season. These are two of his friends. Yes, these two friends happen to play for AFC North rivals, right? And I get that. But dude, this is a guy having dinner with his friends. Let the man be. Leave it alone. If you want to criticize Rashad for on the field Ravens things, then we can talk about that, right? If you want to talk about that, he should have been there for voluntary OTAs, right? Voluntary workouts, excuse me. For me, it's not a big deal. I don't care who shows up, who doesn't show up. But if you want to say, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, they all showed up. Bateman should be there too. Cool. I'm not going to argue with you on that. But to me, they're called voluntary workouts, right? If whether or not you choose to show up is voluntary. I don't care about that. That's not of importance to me, right? So that's just how I feel about that personally. All right. Now, if you want to talk about Rashod Bateman's injury history, that's been disappointing. Okay, out of Minnesota, that wasn't really a concern from him, right? But he's missed large parts of his career due to injury. All right, last year was his first really fully healthy year, and it went all right. Okay, now if you want to talk about production, to me, this is where we talk about Rashod Bateman being miscast in a role that he wasn't fit to play last year. The Ravens never successfully replaced Hollywood Brown on this team, okay? And they tried to replace Hollywood Brown with Rashod Bateman as a deep threat last year, and it didn't work out because that's not his game, all right? Lamar Jackson loves a guy who can go down the field and track the ball deep. That's what, honestly, that's one of the elite traits that Hollywood Brown had that the Ravens fans stepped on him about, right? Rashod Bateman is not that guy. He's not a deep threat receiver, but because Ravens really didn't sit anybody else downfield consistently deep, he became that guy on this team, and him and Lamar Jackson just could not connect on the deep ball, right? Rashod Bateman doesn't really do anything to garner the hate and the attention that he's gotten this offseason. He doesn't complain. He doesn't whine. There's no distractions from Rashod Bateman. The most I've seen him do is I think he might have posted a clip on one of his other accounts of him getting open against L'Jarius Sneed versus the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, right? That's it. That's the most he's done. He doesn't go to the media. He doesn't run the social media and complain about the team. Now, he might talk about some fans, but he doesn't complain about the team, right? So I don't fully understand the hate and everything that's going on with Bateman. It doesn't make sense to me, all right? Now, to talk about the topic of will he be traded? Unless the Ravens are getting a first or second round pick for Rashod Bateman, I'm not doing it, right? Now, will the Ravens get a first or second round pick for Rashod Bateman? No, they won't. Of course not. Because he has no leverage in trade scenarios because he hasn't been healthy enough to show consistent production. I still believe Rashod Bateman can be a guy that gives the Ravens consistent excuse me. I believe Rashod Bateman can still be a guy that gives the Ravens consistent production, game in, game out. I still believe he could be that guy. All right. But other teams haven't seen it, so he's not going to get that pick. So for the Ravens, trading Rashod Bateman is taking a step back, okay? It doesn't make sense for them to do it, all right? It doesn't make sense for any other team to trade for Rashod Bateman for the Howard pick, right? Doesn't have any leverage in that scenario, okay? But the Ravens this offseason, the goal was to add to the wide receiver and make it strong once again. All right. The reason that I loved Nelson Agholor so much last year because he was the Ravens' fourth receiver. Okay. That's why, right? When Nelson Agholor is your fourth receiver, you have a decent receiving core. You understand what I'm saying here, right? You have a pretty good, well, I would say a decent receiving core, okay? You trade Rashod Bateman, unless you're getting a receiver back in the deal, it doesn't make sense, all right? So then you trade Rashod Bateman, you have Zay Flowers, rookie, whoever draft, and Nelson Agholor is your third guy. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't like that. That's not what I'm here for. The point was to be Zay Flowers, Bateman, rookie, and Nelson Agholor. That's the receiving core I can get down with. I like that receiving core right there, okay? But Rashod Bateman is only going to go for a day 3 pick. So we're talking about a pick from rounds 4 through 7. Am I trading Rashod Bateman for a pick for rounds 4 through 7? I'm not doing it. It doesn't make sense for the Ravens to significantly weaken one of their already weak positions on the team. All right. Now you want to talk about fifth-year options, things like that. They got to pick between him and Odafe. Okay, right. But to me, I'm still picking up the fifth-year option because the wide receiver market is crazy, right? Say Rashod Bateman goes out this year, has a phenomenal year. Now he's because you did pick up a fifth-year option. Now he's a free agent, and you probably priced yourself out. All right. But say he goes out here, has a phenomenal year, and you picked up the fifth-year option. Now you have him on a relatively cheaper deal, right, than what's the going rate for wide receivers at the current moment. And you get a Q for another year, and you can decide whether or not you want to pay him after that, right? I'm cool with that. The Ravens cannot afford to make a already weak position on this team weaker. They can't do it, right? So, will the Ravens trade with Rashod Bateman? They might. Would I do it personally? Not unless I'm getting a wide receiver back in the deal. That's the only way I'm doing it, right? I know the dream scenario has been like a Brandon IU, things like that. I don't think he's traded, or at least I don't think he's being traded to the Ravens, okay? So if you can't get a guy back that's going to help this team next season, I'm not trading Rashod Bateman just to get him off the team. That doesn't make any sense to me. He hasn't really done anything to say that he wants to be off the team, hasn't complained about it, hasn't done anything, right? So it was quiet not last offseason, but when Marquise Brown was traded, it was quiet. It wasn't a bunch of noise about it, but at the end of the day, man, a lot of things that Rashod Bateman's getting hate for, things that's about his own personal life that has nothing to do with the Ravens. There's no disrespect to the Ravens, right? So, will Rashod Bateman be traded? I don't know. Should the Ravens trade Rashod Bateman? My answer still will be no. Let me think what you think about that, man. Talk about Rashod Bateman in the comments, man. Will he be traded? Should the Ravens trade Rashod Bateman away? Let me know what you think. But it's Gabriel, it's another Fan TV. I'm out.